So from here, I really like to kind of ask another question over here, because the journey as you have taken us to that, where we have to first understand the need and involve the people to actually build something for them, which is really, really true. That makes sense. Now, as you are taking us through your journey of, how the belong, believe, begin model came into being, I'm sure the journey for you must have been a bit challenging. It's not that easy to create things, and we always hear when things are done, it's published when it's done, it's talked about when it's done, it's shared when it's become viral or famous. But what really went behind making that is the real deal, not giving up. The 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 challenges that are thrown at you, the failures that you face, doing something, applying something. Has there been a journey for you as well? If the yes, we would love to know the top three challenges for you, which was the most, difficult ones to kind of overcome to get to this space where you are today.
I think the challenges for me are about really trying to fit into spaces sometimes, because I think that's always the challenge with people from excluded communities is they find themselves in these spaces where they're not expected to be, and you have to balance being all of you, right, versus just enough that people can kind of digest in the bite-sized bits, right? And so that's probably the biggest challenge, because being in, I sit at both tables. I sit at the table, the kids' table, but I also sit at the adults' table, and you're, a translator having these conversations back and forth. And so making sure, when I go to meetings, most of my meetings, I'm in a hoodie, because if you can see me and recognize me for my value and my content in this hoodie, then you can see the young people I represent who are coming behind me because they look like me. And so, that's one of
Yeah.
the biggest challenges up front. And then the second was money, right? The passion to help youth is always thought of as this, nonprofit do-gooder kind of role where there's no money involved. And I had to learn that if you make money, you can give back more so than building a nonprofit and begging for money. At a nonprofit, we had to beg for money all the time, and it was really undignified, to have to ask for help to
Yeah.
help people who are going to actually help you in return. And so that part was a challenge. And then I think now in the space we're in now, the challenge is having courageous conversations with people about things that aren't working. A lot of our youth programs are not built with youth in mind, and they kind of use youth up in the middle. Youth sports is a great example, right? And they're like, hey, come and do these sports and there's money, but you don't develop their character or who they are. It's just about, this one thing. And so having those conversations with people is a big part of how I um, have to present inclusive spaces so it's not offensive. I think when you look at DEI, that space for people is so offensive, they sometimes don't hear it. And so I think you have to approach it from the space of togetherness and inclusion first. And then once we get to know each other, then we can have those courageous conversations. And that's a cool space when you get to have those conversations with people and they go, I didn't realize that. Because it's not about someone's intent, it's about their impact.
Lovely. I see that you have brought about three very, very prominent challenges